What is trauma bond and how does it work? Trauma bond is a strong attachment style that you get by surrendering yourself to another person. A lot of times the person that is actually all in will be more susceptible to trauma bond. When you first enter into these relationships, the love bombing phase creates the trauma bond. See, you're idolized. You are intimately taken care of. They come across as the perfect person, and they keep this act up for as long as they possibly can. They kind of turn into a chameleon. They make themselves or represent themselves as everything that you ever wanted. The same values, the same music, the same thought patterns, everything. I mean, why wouldn't you surrender to what appears to be the perfect person? Psychological warfare at an atomic level. You basically feel that you've met your perfect person, your perfect match. And being an empathetic person, you're willing and ready to let go. So as time progresses, they're no longer able to hold that image. You start seeing little things sneak through, little mishaps happen that ain't so little. They all create a pattern that you understand and see, but you're unwilling to walk away. They commonly, very commonly, are sociopaths. They literally adapt to everything that's around them to gain entrance and acceptance. Their whole life, their whole image is a lie. Even though it appears that they're being honest in that extent, they're only using partial truth to gain entry to you. So to the common empath, they're thinking in their head, I've made mistakes and I did better. I made mistakes, I grew from it. And they stand and fight beside the person that they believe they are. You will find people with strong, intimate attachments. In other words, obsessions with intimacy and obsessions with people pleasing and the inability to actually do this to their victim. A lot of times these people are cowards. They're the first ones to take and hang you in order to save themselves. Notice through the relationship, they're grabbing a hold of old exes, giving lots of disrespect and bailing themselves out by making you feel belittled, calling you insecure, all these things. A lot of times their family growing up is more important to them than their immediate family they're in with. The rest of the world, they look like they're doing better. Beware, they're actually setting up the perfect recipe for your disaster. Many of them are doing it on purpose. Sociopaths such as this will hang you in your growing points and your faults as you're growing in order to cover up their constant failures. Kind of the it wasn't me, look, it was him. Or it wasn't me, look, it was her. And this is where it gets sticky. If it's a female narcissist, the world is already programmed to receive them automatically as the victim and to give sympathy to them. After all, what was done behind closed doors, no one else knows about. And this is what makes them so lethal. Many of them will take everything that you opened up to them about, everything that you're struggling and growing through, and use it against you, gaining the leverage of every person around you to follow them and leaving you alone. These are truly angry and bitter people that will use that anger and that bitterness to hurt you and destroy you. And with some, they already know what narcissism is, and they already know that they are. So they're going to project everything that they've done onto you. This is where the mental confusion comes in on its victim. You see, the victim, generally of good heart, good stature, a human that can make mistakes but still grow, will take the accountability of many things, putting themselves in situations such as hoovering. The victim, a lot of times, will take toxic traits and while they're going through this absolute mental destruction of trauma response. The world's against them. In a sense, they're temporarily insane, trying to figure out what happened and where did everybody go. The victim will be pushed into a sense of overthinking, overprotecting, and overreaching to anybody that they can. All while the narcissist is out creating a smear campaign with lies and truth, isolating the victim even more. There's no level or boundary that a narcissist knows that they won't step or jump over or break or move to cover their own tail. The victim will stand with a heightened sense of anxiety and loneliness, and many have actually unalived themselves while through this process. So, as a person on the outside, how do I identify who the victim is and who the narcissist is? And that's a really tough question. And it comes with a really complicated answer. And what makes it so complicated is the narcissist will grab both sides of the fence. They'll gaslight everyone into believing that they take some accountability, and it's just like they did to the victim. It's just not all of it. The narcissist will appear to be on a healing journey, but behind closed doors and in the darkness will carry toxic cycles, such as multiple men and women, such as drugs, alcohol, partying, and it'll all be hidden, usually behind the doors of their own home. A lot of times, the narcissist is a sexual predator of many sorts, having no boundaries and being with multiples to cure their insatiable need for attention. And a lot of times, multiples at the same time, and or multiple genders. The female covert narcissist is one of the most disguised sociopaths in society. They lay under the blanket and the protection of society, believing most women are victims. They mask their hate for another person behind closed doors. They open it up, making themselves appear to be empathetic. You will find that when you stand around a victim will fully isolate themselves away from everybody, even behind closed doors. Because after multiple attempts of reaching out, they've had their name ran through the dirt enough times that they no longer feel safe to reach out to nobody. This literally makes the female narcissist the most abusive and cunning of all of abuse styles. Most narcissists are generally the first ones to leave. Even if a narcissist goes to therapy, they will always take the victim path. They will manipulate law enforcement, judges, and their friends to keep their hidden cover. And they won't stop at tearing kids down or the one that they claim they used to love. Always maintaining a balance in an act to make themselves look like they're better. A lot of times, narcissists will also test your response in the case of a breakup by leaving for other supplies, and then when that supply runs out, coming back. Doing so, they'll know whether you're always going to be there for them by your response, and whether they've hooked you by your response. The female narcissist, the female covert narcissist, is one of the snakiest, slickest people around, hiding behind society and gaslighting and manipulation. They are very convincing because you're already programmed to believe that women are always the victims. Because after all, the female gender, they're emotional and soft. At least that's what everyone else thinks.